Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to a ongoing series which is going to be all about like fun little interactions on things in Act 8.1. The path and quest we're talking about is 8.1.1. And I've been having a lot of fun with the Gimme Shelter, Cosmic Grit, True Lies and Subterfuge Special. In a nutshell, this is all about champions getting auto block from basic attacks and a chance to decrease 15% for each buff on the attacker. Now, this is all about building Cosmic Champions, Cosmic Grit, Aptitude buff building. So you get the Aptitude with the Cosmic Champions and you're able to have a lot of fun. And I did have a lot of fun. The team I used is on screen right now, except for all of the other ones. I'm actually really confused now because I've got an Apocalypse. I think I'm setting this up for a different path. But the team that I did use was a lot of Cosmic based champions, and kind of like give you an idea. It was Odin. First of all, what I was doing was I was grabbing Odin as the base level for my team. What Odin does is part of pre-fights for the champion, he's able to put on a certain amount of buffs, 3 buffs onto the champion. Then what I was doing was pairing up with Hercules. Then singularly running the champion, I would go with Angela. I also brought in King Groot as well. And I think that was it. Now, there are some hashtag metal champions on the route which you could use Magneto for, and you can use auto block counters for it. Also, just kind of a little bit of a word of warning is that I am constantly updating the Act 8.1 paths and boss interactions. It's an ongoing update. I think it's on like version 3, and by the end of the day, it'll probably be on version 4 or version 5, especially as I kind of smash through exploring a lot of Act 8.1. So just a forewarn on that one. Also, more champions are being added to the boss battle section, and more write-ups will be done again by the end of the day. And as I go through each one, like 100% 8.1, and then go and do 8.1.2, that's going to be an ongoing theme. So yeah, I'll do like an update on how this spreadsheet's going probably sometime next week when I'm back from holiday. But let's get into the grind, some of the paths, and also kick off Odin and then bring in Hercules. Angela was actually my favourite on this one. I thought she was banging for the path. But in any case, let's roll it. So let's go. First of all, starting off with Hercules against Rocket. Now, let's face it, a lot of the time you will try to build up your champions, especially if you've got persistent charge-based champions. The ones that I've listed aren't the only ones that you could choose from on this particular path. You could also have Hyperion. You could use King Groot, Medusa, Venom the Duck, and so much more. Venompool, for example. Didn't mention Venompool, but Venompool might actually be a really cracking option to take on the path, especially because you'll have Rocket, Cyclops, Hulkbuster, Taskmaster, Nimrod, and Apocalypse. So really think carefully about who and what kind of champions you're using. If you're using Hercules with the method of doing the pre-fight with Odin, then that can be a good build-up. Do bear in mind as well, True Strike champions will be problematic for this because of part of the node. Part of the node in particular that is mentioned is that you will have True Lies. And I'm not talking about the Arnold Schwarzenegger like movie. It's going to be the attacker's True Strike, True Accuracy and True Sense abilities suffer 100% ability accuracy. This means the SP1, which you're going to see in a second, if he throws it, come on Hercules, is not going to trigger up. That doesn't mean to say like it's a deal breaker for Hercules and you should not use him full stop. I think I actually might have seen it a moment ago when I tried using SP1 and it just didn't work. It's not a deal breaker for Hercules. It just means that you have to rely on that Odin synergy to build up and throw special attacks to get fury buffs, to get aptitude in order to get yourself a you know, interaction and suppression for the auto block, which I think you just saw that auto block pop up. As soon as I get our first SP1, which is great, and then again, sort of about building up, and now I've got the aptitude, it puts me in a more kind of solid state. So you're able to rely on the extended buffs. Bad dexing by me there. I thought there was an input issue, but I want to say that may have been me on a mistake. But you can see there, SP1, no True Sense. Right, okay, so Hercules works, but also doesn't work. He works because if you've got the Odin synergy, you can quickly build up the buffs that you need, which you can see on screen right now from the energy resistance, the debuff resistance, I think it was, and the aptitude you get as standard. It helps you to build up that auto block countering, which is you know, just so much of like an easier thing to do right off the bat. Here's me getting aggressive, nice little heavy attack there whilst I got a chance, a 14k little kind of like burst there, and we're building up quite nicely to kind of like get to an SP1, which I think should knock out the enemy champion. No, it did not, which is disappointing. But, you know, SP1 to evade and sorted. Now, Angela. Why is Angela my favourite one on this one? Well, you're going to see in a second the extended build-up. Once you've got past that first kind of like SP1 stage build-up, you're building up the aptitude. The more that you're building these buffs, the more you're building up aptitude. The aptitude build is quite ferocious and it's beautiful at the same time. You can see as well, as soon as we've gone past a certain point and do lots of lovely little evading, smashing in a nice SP2 is going to give us a good kind of like armor break or kind of a good foothold there as you rebuild up again. And you can see like every hit is nice, it's critty, it's like 9k to 12k. I think you're going to see in a minute like a 20k or something hit, like 29k per hit. Angela's a demon. I only found out using Angela would be a better option when I think it was like 3 or 4 kind of fights in. Was it 2 fights in? Something like that. I kind of wish that I used her a lot more, but I did have a dropped input when I was facing against Nimrod, and it did massively affect me kind of using the champion any further. But it's not the end of the world because, you know, I can produce this video and go, by the way, Angela, great champion, very fun, consider it. And maybe I should have put the pre-fights on her rather than Hercules. But, you know, I'm here to test stuff. Testing stuff out and producing this video is the main thing that I decided, the reason for me making content on Marvel Contest of Champions in the meantime. And some nice hits right there with King Groot. I love King Groot. King Groot's like so nice, especially because that regen, if you've got 200 signature version like I have, it's going to just make you just so much more happier. So what else? The end boss. The end boss has steady perseverance, debuff synthesize, and you can go down different routes with this where you go into a stun and then throw a bleed effect, or a natural transfer to a poison vulnerability, or you can use champions that are poison vulnerability or poison debuff champions, which you know, can be effective, like Immortal Abomination, which is kind of like what you see on screen right now. In any case, it is quite fun, but I was getting a little bit bored with this and ended up kind of like just going, right, well, I'm just going to use King Groot after. I kind of decided, because the damage wasn't as kind of popping off as I'd like, and it's good, it's just I wanted to use King Groot. I just kind of love King Groot. I mean, Immortal Abomination works, but I'm like, King Groot, like, for the win, like, just beautiful, really. When you're doing the extent of damage like that, and, you know, the longevity, survivability of the champion, I did get a little bit impatient with this, because there was a point where the enemy just wasn't throwing special attacks, and it was just bugging me a lot, so I was like, okay, right, I'm just... And I think it's like you get into this kind of habit of going, oh, I'm just going to hit into... That you can see right now, like, the champion is not throwing special attacks. So what do? You kind of have to hit into a block to encounter the special to come out and tease it. I don't want to wait all day waiting for champions to throw special attacks. Thankfully, that poison debuff is powerful enough to just kind of like sink the champion. God, I think that was an input right there, an issue with that last part of that special attack. But it doesn't mean anything. And I was like, come on, just throw... one hit I can do, but then it's like, this is just taking forever. Luckily as well, I'm getting additional poisons, which is making the situation more bearable and enjoyable. You can see that there. As soon as I do hit, I'm getting like poison debuffs. So the champion is quite effective, or King Groot. Cosmic Ghost Rider can do this. So many other champions can do this, even Red Magneto. There we go. That's a fun little video showcasing some fun stuff on that particular path. I may do another one similar to this in Act 8.1.1, or this might be the final one before we go into other content in like 8.1.2. But keep locked to the channel for more 8.1 kind of guides and info. Check out the spreadsheet for the kind of like info as I update it. Also, check out on the main channel, I've got like a little thing that says about Act 8.1 kind of playlist, which is going to be updated very, very regularly. But yeah, thanks very much for watching this video. Check out some other content located on screen. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.